Hey, Lashpreneurs, today's a little bit of a story day, so join me on this story and see if any of it resonates with you. So it's first thing in the morning, and your alarm goes off, and let's say you have like a team of three team members, right? You're the salon owner, you've built up this team, and you're still working in the treatment room, you're still taking a full load of clients. You've got somebody who's fairly new to the team, and you've kind of got two senior team members who've been around, I don't know, 6 months, a year. And you wake up, and first thing you do is you kind of reach for your phone. You haven't really even fully woken up yet. You haven't brushed the sleep out of your eyes. You haven't washed your face. You haven't brushed your teeth. You have not even taken your head off the pillow. First thing you do is you grab your phone. You're just checking what time it is. And you see that you have two text messages from clients scheduled later for today for you, and one text message from a client from one of your team members. Two of them are trying to reschedule, and one is canceling. And she's actually kind of upset at your cancellation policy because she knows she's about to get charged. And so she's asking if she can have that waived because she doesn't want to pay it. And something came up with her child. And so, you're kind of looking at it like, oh gosh, like I have to reschedule people, and like, where am I going to put them? I'm fully booked already. And then you see that you have a new review from Google, and you're like, oh, sweet, like, cool. And you tap on it real quick, and you see it says 1 star. That's the first thing you see. It's just 1 star, and your heart drops. Oh my God, what does it say? But you realize it doesn't say anything. It's just a random person who put a 1 star review, and there's no context, and the name doesn't sound familiar. And you're like, oh my God, this review how long has that review been there? Like, who is this person? Why are they leaving a 1 star review? And you haven't even wiped the sleep out of your eyes, and already the anxiety is starting to kick in. Already you've got stuff that you have to handle in the business, and you just don't feel like getting out of bed. This is not how you wanted to start your day. And so, as is habit, you kind of log on to social media real quick to see what's going on in the world, see if there's anything you need to be aware of. And you start to see a lot of comments kind of pop up, that you have a lot of comments, a little notification pops up, and you're like, ooh, what happened? And you realize that a post of yours has gone kind of viral for all the wrong reasons. In fact, you have a lot of people in your comments really being kind of nasty. It's like these nasty grams. It's 3 comments, but they're all kind of hateful, and they're really kind of mean. And it starts to really get your heart racing. Like, oh my gosh, what are they saying? Like, why are they being mean? Why would they look at that post that way? Why would they think my work is terrible? I thought that work was beautiful. And they're bashing it. And they're saying that the client looks ugly. And now all of a sudden, that client was tagged in that post, and that client's going to wake up and see that. And you've got to take the post down. You're going to delete the post. Post doesn't even exist. But oh my God, how many people have seen that post? Oh no. Oh no, no, no. And you can't take it anymore. You're like, I'm putting my phone down. I'm not looking at my phone. I cannot deal with this right now. Okay. So you get up, you get your coffee, you get freshened up, brush your teeth, you start to put on your makeup, and you just have this panicked feeling. You haven't even left your house today. You haven't even left your bedroom quite yet. And already it feels too heavy. Already you're questioning, why did I get into this? This is not how it was supposed to be. I was supposed to have more time, more freedom. And I can't even wake up in the morning without panic and terror starting my day off. But this is what we signed up for. If we just keep heading down this path, it'll get better someday. This is the hardships. This is what everybody talks about. It's the hustle. It's paying your dues. It will get easier. So you muster up some courage, and you get yourself ready for the day, and you got to get going, because there's going to be some traffic, right? Getting to work. And you need to make sure you're going to be there because you have an appointment right at 9 a.m. Your new receptionist doesn't have the keys yet, so you got to be there early enough to let her get in. And who closed last night. She never does her closing side work. And so it's going to be a little bit of a hot mess in the salon today. So you want to get ahead of the game. You want to start your day off, try and turn it around, because already it just feels ick leaving the door. So you get to work. Luckily, traffic wasn't too bad. You didn't have time to grab your coffee, but that's okay. It's okay. You'll make it do. And so you get in, and you're walking up to your salon, and there's somebody standing outside of there, and your heart just sinks. Because what a state board person looks like. They look like a miserable government official, and there they are standing outside your salon looking at their watch, knowing that you're about to show up any minute. And that sinking feeling hits your stomach again. You're like, I know for a fact that when Jessica closed last night, she probably didn't do her side work. And so we're probably going to get some fines today because I don't know that I'm gonna have time to get in there and clean up all of the mess that she probably didn't. So you put on a happy little smile and you open the door for state board and you walk in. Yep, sure enough, you can see tweezers that were left out. You can see things that aren't in the right labeled bins. You can see trash is full and the cover's not on. You know it's going to be an expensive one. So you offer and put your best little smile and offer her some coffee. And she says, yes, she'll take some coffee. So you go start some coffee, knowing you haven't had yours yet. So you definitely need it. And while she's kind of looking up front, you run around to try and pick up some things and put them in your pocket so that she doesn't quite see everything that Jessica left out and didn't clean up last night. And you just are thinking, when's it going to get better? When's it going to get easier? I've been doing this for 6 months now and it's not any easier, but we don't have time. We don't have time to sit and think about that. We don't have the time to sit in our feels. We have a client coming in 15 minutes and the salon is not set up. And I know I have a full book today. I know I've got, the receptionist coming in at 9:00 and I know that I've got my team members coming on today and they need to be set up for success. And it is my salon. So dang it, we're going to pull ourselves up by the bootstraps and just get through it. And so as you start to clean up the salon, you're starting to look at the text messages of the clients that wanted to reschedule. You're trying to find the time to get them in or move them around. And turns out they do want to come today and not wait because you didn't have any availability. And so they're like, fine, I'll come in, but we got to shorten my appointment because I have to be out of there at 2 because my kids got to play and, it's the end of school and it's like, okay, we're just going to make it work. We're just going to make it work. And it's now 9:05 and your client's running a little bit late. Thank God your client is running late today. And the receptionist is late. Where the frick is that girl? Oh, you see her. She's walking in from the parking lot and that is a full cup of iced Starbucks. So she's late to her shift, but she had time to stop for coffee and homegirl didn't even offer to see if you wanted any. No, we're going to have a little bit of a chat about that because that's not okay. Because she should have been helping out with some of the side work that didn't get done. She should have been the one texting the clients and messaging with clients to reschedule them. But because she decided that coffee was more important than showing up to work on time, you got to do that. And as she arrives, there's your clients. All right, put on the smile. It's now the client's turn. So we've got to be all hunky-dory because, we know that Miss Ella really loves her me time and loves to socialize. And so her appointment tends to take a little bit longer than normal because she's so chatty and really uses her appointment as social hour more so than doing lashes. But whatever, that's how it's always been. She's been your client for 4 years. So there's no changing her. So you head into the treatment room, close the door behind you. And at least for that 1 hour, all you need to do is just focus in on the client and do your best for the client. And you just hope that the receptionist is going to do her job, is not going to make it too difficult on the state board person and not say anything that's going to cost you more money, but really you can't do anything because you're in the treatment room and you're producing sales, which is what the business needs right now, because you have a tax bill that hasn't been paid yet because you weren't generating enough sales and tracking cash flow enough to be able to have money set aside for taxes. So we really need Miss Ella's payment today. We need Miss Ella to tip us the way that we know Miss Ella can because, money's tight. That's why we're still in the treatment room. So we finished up Miss Ella. We have another 3 clients come in before we finally get to take a little bit of a break. And we are going to take a break and we are going to go grab some food because we didn't have a chance to do it before we left this morning. So we've got to go run down the street to some sort of fast food, something, Subway, I don't care. I just need food in my body. So you walk out of the treatment room and there's the state board person ready with her little report to hand it over to you. And she talks you through everything that she saw, the corrections that need to be made, the errors, and likely the fines. And it is just another bill to add to the list that was totally preventable, except for the fact that your team members last night didn't do what they should have done. That could have all been avoided had they just followed through on what you wanted them to do and what you would ask them to do 90 different times prior to this. You need a break. You need a break. You need to get out of there before the walls start closing in on you. And so you leave and you go take your lunch and you go down the street to get really dry bread at the Subway. It's not your favorite, but it's the only thing that you have time for. And right now, anything in your stomach is better than nothing. And so you sit down to bite into your Subway sandwich and your phone goes off. In fact, it's a client calling in. The client that was just here for your other team member You can't really figure out. She checked out. She seemed to be okay when she left because you saw her and gave her a little wave, but she's calling you right now. So you answer and you pick up and you say hello. And this is so-and-so business. This is the owner, Jessica or Jenny speaking, whatever your name is. And this client is livid. Apparently your team member had said something just as a joke that the client was highly offended by, and she really wanted to let you know how inappropriate that conversation was, how offended she is, and that she demands that, that team member be penalized or have some sort of consequence for how she was speaking to her, and how dare she, and is just spewing such hate towards you, even though it had nothing to do with you. And it really was an oversight on the team member that she got a little loose-lipped around a client. And you're worried that this client is going to write a bad review, because if the team member really said the things that she said and it was a little out of context, it's not going to look good on a review. And you're like, all right, yes, whatever you think. Yeah, I totally understand. I will have a talk with her. Of course, you were so right. My apologies. I had no idea that was what she said. Of course, that's inappropriate. Yes, I can understand why you'd see that. And now your whole lunch break is trying to calm this woman down and talk her off the ledge of ripping your business a new one on every single review platform that she has access to. You just wanted a Subway sandwich. That's all you wanted. You just wanted a Subway sandwich. So you wrap up the other half of your sandwich because you didn't have time to really fully finish it. Now you got to rush back because you've got another client waiting for you. In fact, your receptionist just texted you saying that this client was 10 minutes early. Of course she's early. She's always early. Why is she early? And you get back and you put on a smile and you're like, I'll be just a minute. And you go back and you use the restroom because you've been holding it all morning. And you're like, good God, I can't make it through another appointment. Otherwise I'm going to burst. And you finally go to the bathroom. You come back and you're ready with a happy little smile, taking on your next client. And you manage to get through the rest of the day without any other hiccups, but you are exhausted. You are depleted. You have taken a full day of clients. You've handled probably 17,000 different fires. Not all of them are solved. In fact, a lot of them seem to be lingering into the next day or two. And then, yes, you have that state board bill, the fines now that you have, and like the tax bill, and Miss Ella didn't tip the way you thought. So like, that's not extra money that you can put towards your pocket. Why are we doing this again? What was the dream we had when we started this? Why did we start going down this path? Is it ever going to get better? Because God, this sucks. And you finally make it home after dark, right? The sun's been down for a long time. You walk in and your partner's been waiting for you to have dinner, but they ate that a while ago because it got cold and they didn't want to wait anymore. They're a little pissed because you said you'd be home around 5 and it's now 7:30. And they're starting to get on you and you're like, look, I have had a day. I wanted to be home at 5. Do you think I wanted to stay there till 7:30? Do you understand the day that I've had? And you can understand that they're a little frustrated and upset because, yeah, you are working a lot. But what they don't realize is like, you're going to spend an hour or two with them before they go to bed, but then you've still got another like 2 to 3 hours of work left. So your day is not over. This is just your dinner break. And you really start to question, is it all worth it? Now, this is just a story I made up on the fly. As I'm talking, I'm adding more things to it. Why? Because I know exactly what happens when you run a business from chaos, without processes, without structure, without tracking financials, that those types of days happen regularly. If y'all haven't been around long enough, I walked away from my business a little over 2 years ago, shut it down. Why? Because it was costing me more than I was willing to give. And it certainly was costing me more than I was making. And it was costing me relationships, my mental health, my sanity, my ability to show up for my kids. It was costing me money. It was costing me time. And it was costing me my livelihood in so many more ways than just financial. And I remember so many times where I would just be going through the motions. It's like the lights were on, but nobody's home. I'm doing an Instagram live. I'm doing marketing, but I'm not in it. I am checked out elsewhere, wishing things were different. In fact, it took me getting COVID back in January of 2021 for me to have kind of my rock bottom moment where I'm like, I've built a life I don't want to go back to. I built a business that I don't love and I don't want to go back to. And it took me away from actually creating the impact that I know the business could make, that I knew that it took away the potential the business had. I just stopped caring because I had nothing left to give. because I had let the business take everything from me, because I didn't know how to have boundaries in place. I didn't know how to track data and financials to let the business tell me what it needed. I made so much meaning out of being needed and doing everything myself. And it was all on me, and I had no help and no support. Therefore, it was highly dependent on how much energy and time I could put into the business for it to grow, which meant that it got to a certain point and I couldn't grow it anymore because I didn't have any more time or energy or bandwidth to put into it. And look, for those of you that are solo business owners, that's fine. You may be okay just having a job. That's essentially what you've created, is a job for yourself that pays you. You can kind of control your pay a little bit, but you're going to be capped because you're trading your time for money. So you can only make as much money as how much time you have to put in it. However, when you start to play a bigger game where you want to not have your time be traded for money, then chances are you need to start to bring on a team who can produce sales and produce profits in the business. That way you're not the bottleneck of the growth of the business. However, what generally happens, if you're not intentional about that or you're not cautious of it, is that you just create more work for yourself and no more time. You want to know the number one way to stop trading your time for money? I'm going to give you this for free. No charge, no charge. Here it is. You ready? If you want to stop trading your time for money, you actually have to stop trading your time for money. What? Bananas, Tara. That's blasphemous. How dare you? It is true, though. If you are still equating the worth and value that you have in your life for you trading your time for money, you will never make more, because you will always have a cap. Now, sure, you can raise your prices, but at some point you're going to kind of max out at how much you can raise your prices. Therefore, your time, what your time is worth, will max out. However, if you want to stop trading your time for money, you actually need to be the one who stops trading your time for money. And you need to stop valuing that the only thing that you can contribute to your business is your time. That's why I don't support the hustle culture. That's a great way to burn out. That's an employee mindset. The employee mindset is, I work, I put in my hours, and I get paid for it. That is to your detriment. That is a negative thing when you were the business owner. Why? Because you don't have more time. Time is the most precious asset we have. We can't make more time. We can always make more money. We can always make different decisions. But if you want to stop trading your time for money, you need to switch your relationship with time and with money. And a lot of that is going to mean that you need to let go of control. And I say that with quotes for those of you that are listening to the podcast, because here's the thing. You're not actually giving up control in the way that you think. You're actually getting systems in place that the processes get the result, not any one person in the business, including you. You have a way of doing things. You're just not present to it because it's so second nature to you. You have a way of doing your services that get the clients the result. You have a way of greeting clients that they really feel warmed and welcomed. A lot of that is just getting it out of your head onto paper so it can be tracked and so it can be taught. Financials, great. You don't know how to run a business financially. Cool. None of us do when we're starting out, right? It is something that you can learn. You didn't know how to run until you knew how to walk. You didn't know how to walk until you knew how to stand. You didn't know how to stand until you practiced and fell a lot on your face. Learn how to do it. Commit to being a student so that you don't have to keep doing this over and over and over again, because it's miserable and it's not a fun way to run a business. So all of that to say, if you want to learn how to run a business and start to enjoy it more and let the business tell you what it needs from you, and then you being the good steward of your business and seeing the potential that the business has and knowing that there's income potential where you can start to make more money and more income and more impact, well, we got to have a different way of running a business, because this whole waking up first thing in the morning, you're feeling attacked and feeling afraid and bombarded with the world, and then carrying that through your day and not having structure in place and accountability for your team members and hiring people who just aren't operating in integrity or showing up to their shifts on time or treating clients respectfully or in the way that you would want your brand to be represented, then we've got some work to do. So all of that to say is, if you want to join me to learn more about how to build out a team so you can stop trading your time for money, then I invite you to join me in a free class I'm hosting coming up called Build a Team, Live Your Dream. You can register for that at thelashpreneur.com/build a team. And that is really going to talk also about our mastermind program, where we heavily dive into your performance and your development as a salon leader, making database decisions, learning how to market your business so you can scale your business and build your team clientele, and how to manage and lead a team for success. So no matter what hiccups, snafus, toxic team members, fires that pop up in the business, you know how to handle it in a response kind of way, not a reactionary kind of way. And we're going to work a lot on your mindset so that you stop being the bottleneck in your business and you start to have a healthy respect for what the business needs from you. And we start to detach your worth and your value from the business, because you are inherently worthy of all the success in the world. But if we don't believe that in our heads, then our 3D world, our business, will reflect what is inside of our head. Your external world will match the beliefs that you have in your head. And so we can work on what's between the ears to start getting the external world to match what you already believe about yourself, that you're already successful, that you're already building wealth, that you know what you're doing, that you know how to handle team, that you know how to handle the numbers in the business, and that you are a student of business and you will continue to be. So if that sounds of interest to you, just head on over to thelashpreneur.com/build-a-team, sign up for one of our Build a Team, Live Your Dream classes, and I will see you guys soon. Have a good one.